Hello and welcome to the second edition of the Buffalo Basement Podcast, only on the Dude Champions Media Network. I am Pat Bruknis. You can find me on Twitter at Pat_Bruknis. We're here with the host of this show, Matt Diegert. You can find him on Twitter at Matt Diegert. And we're also here with Student Body Right. You can find him on Twitter at Student Body Right. And fellas, before we get started, we have a great show planned for everybody today. I want to give a thank you to our student. Find them at 3785 South Park Avenue, Blaisdell, New York, 14219. And also, Sons of Erie, they have a brand new hat, the hat that Matt is wearing that just dropped. And great. Oh, show it off. Yes. And they also have paintings and merchandise that are Dude Champions hoodie that Matt's also wearing. And also another hat that Student is currently wearing. And you can check them out at www.sonsoferie.com. And also Hamburg Brewing. Make sure to check out their tap room for all your favorite drinks, which is located at 6553 Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York, 14075. Or check out their website, which is www.hamburgbrewing.com. Fellas, how we doing tonight?
Read it again.
Well, I'm doing well. How are you, student?
Doing well. Man, I took a brief hibernation after
8 hours?
8 hours on air. I would say at least 8 pounds of sweat equity after all the work put in to kind of whatever on to 2025.
Yeah, and that's basically the basis of this show tonight is wrapping up and setting the sun on the. We tried.
We're on the lake, guys. We tried to get one, and hopefully we will. But the weather was Buffalo weather. It's going to rain all weekend. It'll be 97 degrees on Monday, and I'm here. We're getting a blizzard on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I definitely want to thank all of our guests in here, everybody who joined us last week for the draft show. Definitely a great time had by all. Definitely want to thank everybody for that, all the comments and everything, and definitely like and follow or like and sub on YouTube. And
we had a big week.
Yeah,
we had a big week thus far.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. Coming from all of us, it's a little scary starting your own network and doing things your way. So to gain almost 500 followers on the network, and that was through organic growth. God, it means the world to us. So definitely thank you for everyone like that. In a slow news cycle, we're gonna try and be as up to the minute as possible, and we're trying to be authentic. So
and definitely check out the giveaway on our Twitter and
Yes.
Instagram and Facebook. That contest will end next week at 5, next Friday at 5, before we come on the show live at 7. And we'll announce the winner on the show live at 7.
And Matt, Pat, I didn't tell you guys this, and I'm actually just thinking about it now. I'm going to add some contest, just add a addendum to it. One of the things is we asked you to guess Mr. Keon Coleman's stat line. Anybody who nails to the closest degree any of those predictions, how about we buy another jersey?
Yeah.
You down, Pat? You down?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So we'll give away 2.
Yeah.
So one for now, one for later. So.
Yep, definitely comment on that thread and put your closest guess to Keon Coleman's actual stat line, what he's going to do this year with Josh Allen. And do we let them pick the jersey if they want, or do we kind of let them kind of say who we think we should be giving away what jersey it is?
They play by our rules, baby. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think any jersey they want. If they want a Keon, if they want a I don't know, Matt jersey if he signs back on the team.
AJ Klein, I think you have 3 of them.
I have a 54. I have a practice roster 57. I have one that I scribbled Bills to the Super Bowl. That was the 17-second jersey, or 13-second jersey. So that made it 13 seconds before I cut it up into little headbands and shreds and formed my own militia to overhaul the Bills special teams. That was an abstract joke. That's Friday. But I have a couple of them. But yeah.
So welcome to the show.
Yeah. Welcome to the Goat Rodeo.
Yeah, definitely.
So speaking of welcomes, we have 2 players you welcome today.
Yes, we do want to welcome on Whittle 2K. and Beyond 716 from Coast to Coast. They are going to be going live on Wednesdays at 7 or 8. We haven't nailed that down what time that they want yet, but they're going to be one of the premier podcasts on our network, so definitely check them out. Follow them on their Twitter page, along with giving us a follow and New Champions.
Yeah, that felt good getting them.
Yeah,
because I know they were wanted and stuff like that, and fair news why they were wanted.
Yeah.
They packaged together. Pat, you're real good friends with Beyond. They packaged together something that's palatable, something different than us, something different than a lot of people do, and it's from two very competing perspectives. Metropolitan, New York City area. That's a massive media market, and then you have the more chill, relaxed, tofu eating
California area.
So,
do you want to announce the other one?
go for it.
Oh,
I don't know who we signed. I'm just CEO.
Well, we are going to have a Monday night show as well. That is going.
Oh shit! I did this.
Yeah, you did this. That's why I didn't want to know if you wanted to announce it or not. But
Oh yeah, we'll absolutely announce it. So in doing this, we've had a lot of advisory conversations with one of my family members. He runs the biggest customer service podcast in the country. He's interviewing Morgan Ear from Shark Tank and all that stuff. And he's bagging what we're raking. So him and I are gonna team up Monday nights call-in show. It's gonna be called Student Body Homework Helpline. We'll try and answer as many questions, whether they're schematically, whether it's hot seat, cool throne, or just anything pressing where we can make hopefully some listeners have an additional perspective, or just call and just tell me that I should probably check my blood pressure, so or raise my blood pressure. So
well,
2 new shows.
Yes, 2 new shows right now, and we're looking to add probably 2 or 3 more along the way, and so definitely look out for those. And
if anybody is thinks they want to join the growing network of Dude Champions, send us your reel. Send us your pitch. We're always filled with phone calls. Arguably, that takes up most of our time.
I think I got a total of 9 hours of sleep the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. I mean, if this was 2000, man, I'd be way over my family data plan.
Yeah.
So short pitch, but coming back to the viewership, guys, thanks so much. Like I said, it just means the world.
They're the reason we're growing and wanting to do this and put out great Bills content, and just seeing a couple of guys in front of a sunset, in front of a window here, talking Bills, or every couple of weeks we talk in front of Elliot Apollo's that jersey there, and we definitely want to thank everybody for joining.
I mean, I know it means the world to me, especially being stopped. When we're kind of in our place of Ilios to be like, hey, you're the podcast guy. It just never intended that. Started doing a little bit with Fanatics with Kevin Syracuse, and then appeared a little bit cover 1 with Masseri, and then briefly with the Last Network, and to grow our own is it's scary, but it's not scarier than the guy we just drafted.
No.
So.
No, definitely like that draft pick, and that's the jersey we are giving away. So definitely check that out, along with any of our other merch that we have, hats, Do Champion stuff, and soon enough we will have a Shopify specifically for Do Champions. So definitely watch out for that. So let's kind of get into it at this point. I know we spent a little bit of time on things going on in Do Champions, and being the flagship show on the network here. With the founders and our managing partner Pat Bruknis, definitely want to give you guys updates along the way, and definitely it means the world to us. If you can like and subscribe on YouTube, so we can grow that channel as well, and let us know what we can put out for you guys, Buffalo Bills related. So we have some great shows coming up. We'll announce those as well. So let's get into it though, Pat. What did you feel about the 2024 draft?
Overall, I have it graded as a B-. There's not much more Brandon Bean could have done. We filled needs, especially with that Cole Bishop pick. I love that pick. Bless you. Then Keon Coleman, we got our new X. That guy is just a gem. I'm watching all his videos lately of I think it was off-season embedded on the Buffalo Bills YouTube channel. That guy's just a gem. he just seems like a guy who's having fun. So way different. He acts more. He works so much differently than what Stefan Diggs how Stefan Diggs acted.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that I was sick of seeing the last year and a half. Was at every single turn, anytime that he put out a tweet, whether it was stupid lyrics or cryptic stuff or anything like that, it kind of was getting to the point where it was annoying. And I'm glad we can bring in somebody who's young, who's hungry, and
Who Josh chose. Chose.
Yeah, it was he almost. Brandon Bean said he almost had a draft day, type of thing again. Last year it was Dalton Kincaid. This year it was Keon Coleman, and he reached out to Keon Coleman and welcomed him and said he's the receiver that he wants to play with, and if he's there, the Bills are going to draft him. So I definitely.
Pat, I was thinking as we kind of sat in this for a couple of days, especially the first night. I think what's great is we got him when we could get him.
Right.
I share the same ethos as Kevin Masseri from Built Buffalo. Even if we kept that 28th pick, I believe in the way it looks, we still would have selected Coleman.
It was it was a choice between Coleman and Leggett. They had them rated pretty equally, and I think Josh might have been the
deciding factor
in that especially because he's who he wanted. And he's never had the type of receiver that Keon Coleman is. No, he doesn't have the high end speed at the at the end, but he does have those short, quick bursts. And I think he's either a 9.88 or a 9.81 on Raz. So he definitely fits things that we did not have here as Bills fans before. So
yeah, it's also interesting that he transferred from Michigan State to play. Specifically with that quarterback, Florida State. His name is
Jordan Travis.
Jordan Travis. That was his boy. He never got to play with a quarterback. We'll never play with a quarterback of the caliber of Josh Allen. So I just think, how does this game not elevate? Come from there.
Well, and that leads me into my next point. We'll stay on Keon Coleman for a second, but it kind of seems like that's the theme of this receiver core. Like look at Curtis Samuel. His best quarterback he played with was Cam Newton, and he wasn't that great either.
After the shoulder
who they just signed today, Chase.
What was that, Pat?
No, I said it was after his shoulder injury in Cam Newton.
Yeah. And who they just signed today, and Chase Claypool. He had one good year of Ben Roethlisberger at like just under elite level play. So, and then he plays with Justin Fields in Chicago, and that whole plethora of whatever that happened in Pittsburgh after Ben got hurt, and
AB was running amok.
And then and then he got traded for a second round pick to Chicago.
Pick 33.
Justin Fields.
I originally thought Claypool was the TikTok guy.
That's
well, he kind of is.
Yeah, that's
he posts TikToks.
He's in New England, so. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm not overly excited. I'm not expecting anything. He could just potentially be a camp body. That's why they signed him to a 1-year deal. So it really comes down to it. If he falls out, Josh Allen, Joe Brady resurrect his career. Great. He can either re-sign with the Bills for a little bit of a higher contract, or go get paid and go play with somebody like I don't know, like a CJ Stroud or something like that, or whatever he wants to do.
Herbert on a cheap one.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting, Pat. I'm going to swing it to you. This. I want to hear what you thought. I saw two prevailing school of thought on Twitter. I saw we're happy, strengthen the receiving core. He's a camp body. And then I saw a school of thought that he's taking reps away from young guys. Well, he ain't taking reps away from Keon Coleman.
No.
He's not taking reps away from Shakir.
Curtis Samuel.
Probably not Andy Isabella. He's gonna,
you're talking. He's taking reps away from maybe Justin Shorter, maybe.
Probably.
I'm just saying, maybe Justin Shorter, maybe Mac Hollins. So it really comes down to it. He's probably gonna get a chance to start at some point during
he's
the
gonna get a chance to be on.
Yeah.
I would just select him. In way too early guesses. Active roster time.
Yeah, and he could be very similar to what Isabella was, where he's a final day cut or last round cut to see what he's got in that preseason game where none of the starters are playing. Throw him in there with Trubisky, throw him in there with whoever they have on the roster as far as their third string quarterback or anything like that, and see what he can come up with.
Plus, he's going to show a ton of utility if he is active in that red zone. He's going to be the fourth wide receiver that's over 6'4".
We were just talking about it the other day. I mean, you got
Dawson Knox 6'4". Dalton Kincaid
6'3" and a half.
6'4". For
yeah.
sake.
Coleman 6'4".
Claypool
6'4".
That's going to be a formidable.
Josh is going to be able to just step back and put the ball up and let these guys go get it if they're within 10 yards.
And if they manage to stop the 6'4" wide receivers we have and the 6'4" tight ends we have a 6'5" quarterback who's like, 250, who'll just run you over.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, and that's what I'm excited about this offense this year, especially because it's finally time for Josh to kind of prove that he can do it on his own.
Yeah.
No Diggs, no Cole Beasley, no John Brown, nothing like that. No high-end, quote-unquote high-end receivers to be on this team. I mean, I guess you can call Keon Coleman high-end, but nothing yet because he hasn't played yet. So we don't know. He could come in the NFL and be a flop for his first 4 years. We don't know. I mean, we don't want to see that as Bills fans.
Right.
We don't want to see that as I mean, maybe we do as podcasters.
I don't know. As a fan of young men,
Yeah.
trying to make the transition. That's definitely not on the docket for anyone to fail. Except obviously Jarvis Landry.
Yep.
It's I think this is all added value. And I'm just to pivot quickly. We could have done that contract with OBJ.
1 year, $3 million up to $8 million. Yeah.
Could have done that contract today. And Pat, I know you and I had a little disagreement about it, but
Yep.
I don't think we were in the market for a 1 year mercenary, as I said before. I laid out the tweet that the mercenary that we did sign in Von Miller. I think one is enough off that Super Bowl team.
And that's also too. I mean, who's to say we didn't offer him 1 for 5, 1 for 3, 1 for 4? Like, who's to say we didn't offer him that? And he chose Miami because
tax implications,
weather,
lifestyle.
all those things. Yeah, I mean, this is a dude that
you're not going to get the Kardashians to Buffalo.
Right.
You know?
Right. I mean, OJ.
Whoa. Flip it.
Yeah, right.
OJ did. God damn. Rest in peace. Well, maybe just rest.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Pat? I mean, as far as Chase Claypool goes, as far as Keon Coleman, before we move on to their second round pick.
Well, quickly, Pat.
Or their second round pick.
I think it's a good omen that our boy got to announce it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I texted with him, Pat, and he said, "What's up to the show? How everybody's doing?" And he said, "Yo, that guy's," and we saw it in Embedded. That guy's cool as chips. He's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Tiger wish he could. That was
hysterical.
That was probably my favorite
I
line.
golf, but I'm Tiger. Wish he could. I'm not doing Tiger Woods.
That kind of shows how the game of golf is growing. And I also love his self-awareness about he took that opportunity to describe his life outside of football, yet with the awareness of showing off his temperament. And you can't overreact. It's golf's a frustrating game. He took that opportunity to show his malleability, and personality. When you have Terry Pagola with his arms crossed, he's the one writing the checks. Everything goes through him as much as we think through Bean, because Bean goes through him. I just thought that it was a very well thought, honest, authentic, pragmatic approach.
Yeah.
To get a little insight into kind of the guy we're getting. And I mean, I feel a little foolish how easily my feathers were ruffled about the acquiring of a prospect. Maybe I truly didn't understand just from watching my hour film on him.
Right.
Pat, what do you got?
Right. Yeah. No. As far as Chase Claypool goes, I know there's a lot of Bills fans that are high on Justin Shorter, just like how we were high on Duke Williams a couple of years ago. He's Justin Shorter. Yeah. It seems like I know if you remember during that playoff game, there was fans calling for Duke Williams to be active, which ended up being active and dropped the pass in the end zone. But anyways, Chase Claypool is a guy who,
It wasn't a playoff game though.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the Steelers.
And looking at Chase Claypool, with a guy like Justin Shorter, that's probably who Chase Claypool is going to battle with. If Claypool, sure, if he works, it's a low risk, high reward signing as far as Chase Claypool goes. And I think it's funny he's wearing number 14.
Pat, I was going to text you about that because we were discussing what Keon was going to wear.
Yep.
Man, I was like,
that zero's fire though, isn't it?
No, yeah, Agent Zero. I love it.
I just think Gilbert is bringing a gun into a Wizards locker and over a gambling den. Zero. I mean, I wore 16 in college, so maybe a little hypocrite. But anytime I see, low end numbers like on a defensive player or like those weird numbers on receivers, I think they're selfish. But we clearly saw that's
not the case. He wore it in college for his 2 years at Michigan State, and he wanted to go back to it. 4 wasn't available with because James Cook has that, and go to 0. I guess that's the next best choice for him.
Yeah, sure. And Pat, I was telling Matt before, this sweatshirt actually, this was the first piece ever we drafted up. I don't know if you see it. Andre Reed, Sons of Erie. I mean, I dug this out of the moth pit in my closet.
Right.
How nice was it that Andre Reed put out that tweet about Coleman?
Oh no, that was awesome. That was nice. That just shows you what kind of guy we're getting.
I mean,
he's really working
that's
out
maturity. That's maturity right there by reaching out to former players. Just like Khalil Shakir, he's been training with Eric Moulds the last 2 off seasons. You can't get any better than those two on the Buffalo Bills. Andre Reed, Eric Moulds, and we got to see them together for 3 years, 96 to 99. 98 was Moulds' real breakout year, but I mean I'm ecstatic that he took the initiative to do that, and I look forward to seeing him on the field this year, definitely for sure. Because 33 is like a first round pick anyways. You just did the only difference is you don't get the 5th-year option. I mean,
which if he performs like he does,
you sign him. Who cares at that point? You sign him going into year 4.
So some of the guys that command the ball with those 5th-year options, if we get to that point, like we did with Sammy Watkins when we didn't pick up his option, it's telling.
They picked it up, but they traded him.
Did they pick it up?
Yeah, they picked it up, but they traded him right to the Rams for that last year.
That's right.
Correct. But to use that as a negotiation piece, something's not just simply not working,
right?
Or not working to the level of which it should. So I mean, man, hopefully that's a non-factor.
Yeah, hopefully. I want to see this guy here long term. Like we've already talked about his maturity level to reach out to Andre Reed. He's already working out with one of the league's best in Jamar Chase.
I mean, and that's the thing. You're talking about him being here long term. I mean, let's kind of take a step back and actually talk about it for a second. Josh Allen's 27 years old. He'll be 28 going into the season this year.
That's good math.
I mean, I mean, he'll have 8 to 10 probably elite years of Josh Allen arm left. His legs might go by the wayside. He might have to change the game a little bit, when he hits that 34, 35-year-old season. But
didn't go for Steve Young.
No.
You're still moving and shaking.
I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't, not to an extent of Josh Allen, but I mean he's still doing scrambling every once in a while. I mean last year, but we saw what happened, and I think that's more the field turf. Even though
he was scrambling to get to his ayahuasca camp. Scrambling his brain.
But
oh, it's Friday, baby.
But yeah, I mean as far as that goes, I mean he's probably got 8 elite years of Josh Allen left to play, and if I'd hate to see it, whether it be for the young man himself, Keon Coleman, for the Bills, for Bills fans. I hope he works out in those 4 years so he gets another contract so he can be here for the next. And then, as they as it comes down to it, and the Bills can eventually draft a Josh Allen replacement. So when he's done and ready to retire, he can just kind of go into that next mold. And what, Keon Coleman's what, 21 years old?
He's 20.
Yeah. So you're talking he's only 28 if you're talking in eight years that he's here of those good elite Josh Allen years left.
There is a metric that I don't hear many people talking about. And, Pat, since you're the youngest guy in this pod, I kind of want your response. We've done really well with men with adult braces.
Right.
Greg Rousseau, adult braces, really coming along.
Deion Dawkins.
Yep.
Doing really well. Your thoughts on adult braces and how they really keep you in line to grow with this organization?
Apparently so. I never thought about that, actually.
I don't want to.
Wow. I mean, never thought about that, but I mean, we have a pretty good hit record on, we have Deion Dawkins.
Clip and send tweet.
In terms of sticks, when it comes to student body, I have an announcement. Incoming the MLS listings for week 4, Stephon Diggs is not going to House in Houston.
Well,
And as far as the other announcements go, we're going to throw it up on the screen real quick. Yeah, let's get into it. So June 2nd, the bocce ball tournament for Iliad Apollo Scholarship Fund, correct?
Yep, you can hear it on the screen right now.
Yep.
The Iliad Apollo Scholarship Fund. This is your time, Bills Mafia. You want to get a word in with the guy we all want back, Harrison Phillips. You want to get a word in with Shakir. You want to meet Tommy Doyle, Alec Anderson, Ryan Vandermark. Some Quentin Morris. Our new guy from Kentucky.
Yeah, Ray Davis.
Ray Davis. Who, I do think in the coming weeks. Epinesa. They'll all be there, all committed. Come say what's up. I'll be there. Don't be weird. Matt will be there. Hopefully Mr. Pat Bruknis will be there.
Hopefully.
Sarah hopefully will be there. We'll be live on air with 97 Rock, which is a huge accomplishment for us. Drew this up on a small scale. First year $5,000, second year $8,000, third year $18,000, last year almost $40,000. This all benefits Harrison Phillips Playmakers. It benefits the Iliad Apollo Scholarship Fund, which I sit on the board of. It's just good druthers. It's a reason for your wife or girlfriend to drop you off and send that text being like, "Baby girl, you gotta pick me up too." Matt, you've been there last year.
Yeah, I mean, and that, all that stuff aside, it's a really good time. It's a really fun time. I mean, whether it's talking to players, whether it's watching the bocce ball tournament going on, whether it's the food, whether it's the drinks.
Drinks on the beach, baby.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more fun than getting your feet in the sand and having a couple of drinks.
Getting in the
a
cups.
nice blue Hawaiian on the beach.
Aaron Williams is playing on the team this year. He'll be there. It's just something I'm super passionate about. You can see it on the screen. That's the logo for this one this year. June 2nd, if you want to move your shut head, that's right there. It's time to promote. Most teams are sold out. Contact Iliad Apollos through the website, Soleil at woodlawnbeach.com. Just come say what's up. I'm a pretty big guy. Matt's a big guy. You'll see us next to us. Maybe if you got a hot take, we'll put you on there with 97 Rock as we dual broadcast there. It's just it's one of the best days.
Yeah, it's an awesome time during the summer. As far as that goes with the bocce ball tournament, I mean, it's so much fun to just be there and be out in the sun and just enjoying it. And I know we wanted to do the basketball thing for people that were for people that come in that weren't able to get a team together.
There's the Sons of Erie shootout there. $20, 3 free throw shots, and you advance to the next round, and then you win up to like $500. Don't think this is like a bunch of old men, in Italian dinner jacket, white beaters. I don't actually know if I can say that anymore. But it's what was it, 380 strong last year, and this year we're hoping for around 500. Come buy a social pass. $50. All you can eat, all you can drink for 8 hours. Starts at noon. Until you lose your flip flops. It's
a good time.
This is the jersey last year. Sons of Erie. We have a whole team this year. Beauty sponsored by Beauty Pool, sponsored by Soleil, Hamburg Brewing, obviously Sons of Erie, and Duke Champions. Live broadcast, like I said. Hopefully, we'll have Lance there. Lance is going to come on for a little bit. You'll have some personalities there. Hopefully, getting Greg from Cover One, some of the other local guys we've sent invites to. It's just a good time to not only see the players as it's really just good guys.
Normal people. Like, to see
Just
them
people.
as normal people, and kind of, don't gotta fan out to them or anything like that. I mean, they get that 364 other days of the year. I mean, this is the time where you can come and kind of see who they are.
And see them interact with each other. I mean, that competition that they have inside, man, that doesn't leave them.
No.
It doesn't matter if it's turf, grass, or sand. It's a really cool thing, something I'm passionate about, and I do it with Harrison every year. So also good to welcome our boy back into town.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know we're going to have a few other charity podcasts throughout the year, with Harrison as well. So we definitely want to...
You tell the other charity podcasts that we're
the Hamburg Brewing one?
Our boy Dion.
Oh, the cornhole tournament? Yeah, I'll let you do that because you know more about it than I do.
Yeah, absolutely. Dion does have the charity cornhole tournament at the same venue, Soleil, at Woodlawn Beach, and outpost Village of Palos. We will be live from Dion's cornhole tournament there as well. So hoping to get more players on the live podcast there. Just another opportunity to kind of bring it to a non-sensational level about who these people are.
Yeah.
Both of us have been blessed to meet a lot of these guys, and I think that's kind of one of the things that allows us to bring unique perspective and maybe some humanity to some of these guys. I know if half of Bill's Twitter met Kyer Elam,
They'd be rooting for him. They'd be rooting for him.
And they wouldn't be saying the unkind things they said.
Right.
You meet Harrison Phillips, you join the train of let's get Harrison back here.
I mean, that's the thing. Real quick to touch on Kyer. I mean, they said for football he's last guy or first guy in, last guy out. I think he was one of the last few people out of that bocce ball tournament last year, and it was
and that's not commentary to drinking or anything like that. He was signing everything, shaking hands,
engaging. I know he did an interview with Kevin Syracuse. I mean, there's a lot of things that these guys do, while they're there, and they're amazing people. To kind of partner with and do that.
And it's fantastic they want to be there. Just to circle back with Coleman, I'm excited for him to grow within this community.
Yeah.
With Diggs, he was already a grown man. He was, putting this is, he is from, DMV, Maryland, and, he already had a life, he already had preferences. I'm excited for the young man to get here. And it's not a Blue Cheese Ranch thing. I'm excited for him to set roots and see why this place is special and be kind of like a vehicle to entice other young men to, let's get here too. I'm happy to be here. Matt, like 10, 15 years ago, this wasn't a destination you were excited to draft to. I mean, it started even with Jim Kelly. I'm going to the Houston Gamblers of the USFL, and I'm going to spend some time there. And then when Donald Trump ruined it by trying to take me to the fall, that's just categorical. He was kind of here at Buffalo. And when someone's got a little Buffalo in his veins, he got a little Buffalo in his cups. He made a home here. I'm excited for the young man to set roots here. It's gonna be really great.
Well, and then we also speaking of charities, we also did share it on Duke Champions Network on Twitter today, or X, or however you look at it. Still, Keon Coleman's hometown charity that he's part of, Hope for Opelousas. So Hope for Opelousas. So I hope I'm saying that right, but I mean definitely check that out. And I'm not personally. I'm more,
now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, donate anything to any of these charities we're talking about. It's definitely good feeling to do that, and definitely join us in helping out the community.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, back to football.
Yeah.
Not Jordan Boyd.
Yes.
We had some wins on Twitter on the draft. I know I had one of them. Pat, you had a win, a couple tweets of what you thought. Matt, you had a couple wins. Your draft board hit.
Yeah.
How much time and effort did it take you to now? I mean, you were damn near perfect on pick 8?
Yeah, up till pick 8 when Atlanta took Michael Penix Jr.
which
Yep.
I mean, you did kind of.
I had a quarterback going there. I had Jaden Daniels going there, but I don't know why. He obviously wasn't available. Went to Washington with pick 2, but to sit there and I think my final numbers when I calculated it out, I think I had 23 of the first round picks actually go in the first round, and I think I had like 11 or 12 actually correct the team that they went. So I was definitely happy with that. Definitely something that I'm proud to do every single year, no matter where I am, whether it's on
Thank you for doing that. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of
Yeah.
effort. I know how much effort you put in, Pat. I know how much effort you put in. What do you think your win was, Pat?
Mine it has nothing to do with Buffalo. I don't know if it's pretty obvious, but I did say that Roma Dunze was going to go to Chicago, and Chicago was not going to trade that pick while needing a defensive lineman. They took Roma Dunze.
It's a win. Mine was, I think it was Bishop.
Yeah.
While I can only take half credit for it, actually I had 2. I Tepper getting aggressive, and that was that's the assist from Bruce Nolan. Just from my finance background, I knew Tepper was aggro just in the way he trades, the way he sets up his that ended up materializing. And the other one was Bishop. And I'd like to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, pick 60 for the Bills. I mean, Cole Bishop. I personally had him as the second best safety in the entire draft. So I mean, he plays downfield, plays with heart,
Plays in the alley.
He's nasty in those alleys, and he just. I think it's gonna be tough for the Bills to keep him off the field this year. I really do.
So the
Oh, yeah.
when you and I were discussing the way you evaluate prospects, and I made the correlation about how much synergy you see in teammates and the synergy in that you're just poring over these films and you end up drafting a guy you love. And watching full game film and stuff like that, even though they're on opposite sides of the ball, they got familiar with Bishop through Dalton Kincaid. They got familiar with him through the way they asked Kincaid, what's he like? So I thought that was great. That we talked about the paradigm and the prism of really falling in love with some of these guys based on connections, based on the team synergy and stuff like that, how well they got along. I thought that was great that we talked about that weird moments before they took Dalton Kincaid's teammate at Utah, Bishop. It was an abstract kind of thought for me, but I'm very proud that we got that on film a couple moments before we took it.
Yeah, it was about 10 minutes before, and it was a great thing to bring up because I mean,
It's not talked about.
you think about it when you're watching film. You're thinking about I'm watching. We'll just use a Bill for instance, Keon Coleman. So you're watching other guys from FSU on the offense, or Malik Neighbors. You're watching his film, and you kind of veer over to see Brian Thomas Jr. or anything like that, and it comes down to it. I'm glad they have the knowledge in house on the type of person and the type of player that Cole Bishop is, because
She need knowledge in house because I'm ECB. Pat, did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I woke up Thursday or Friday with the news. Just keep that between yourselves, guys. I don't want my family getting out there. But anyway,
as if you don't have enough time to do things, right?
yeah, I don't have enough room in my bio. I would say scumbag in there, but too many. You got to buy the super premium ads, and we started a new network. The cash was a little short, so that was ridiculous. And I hope you come back if you want to. We should. Cool with it?
Yeah.
Value add, man. If you choose not to like it, you don't like it. But for the love of the game,
Just scroll past it. Like, why are people giving somebody who's giving
how kind was he always in our DMs?
always?
And it's just, I hope he comes back, man. And a lot of hate, but that value outweighs mute.
I mean, we saw the outpouring of support for him specifically from fans of his, and non-fans of his, just because he's giving out knowledge that is separate from what he actually, what in his field or in his
whatever he does.
Right, in his wheelhouse. Because he's even said it on Twitter before. He's not a GM. He's not a guy that does contracts. He's not a guy that knows that type of stuff. He's just giving information that he has. And unfortunately, he ended up deleting his account because of all the hate he was getting.
And it's just be kind. We talk about all these players and stuff like that, and some of the vitriol they get. They'll talk about it all the time. You're cool to them. Just be cool, I pop off, but I remember. You remember this during this week, and I'd like to talk about this too, because there's football applications. Someone wanted to dunk on ECB because he sent out a tweet that we've been doing work on a couple wide receivers. And, I don't like this phrase, some of the guys that maybe don't know ball were like, just another piece of information or misinformation from ECB. Now, Pat, play along with me here.
Yeah.
Why would we do medicals and not medical, but like why would we do further information discovery for a player if we don't take them?
Just so we know.
So we know what other people do. If
Right.
he's got a really bad hip flexor that he re-injures, that he doesn't really end up on the injury report, if other teams know that, that makes Keon Coleman more valuable. That means we have to trade up for him. And people need to start a little bit being better fans, a little more analytical. Because when ECB tweeted that, they dunked on him because we didn't take him.
Yeah.
Maybe the ethos was we got to know what this guy is, so we know if our guy is going to get picked here, there, or if we do what we did.
Right.
And for people not to see that,
and for them doing extra work on Xavier Worthy to be able to stand back, because I know as much as Brandon Bean comes out and says, "Oh, we don't know who they were going to take. Oh, we don't know this."
Brandon Bean, when he says shit like that, he's speaking to those fans that go at ECB.
We know that Sean McDermott grew up in the Jim Johnson. Everything like that. We know their relationship, it might not be out there in the public knowledge, but you can see how good of a relationship those guys had. Like, he started from nothing. He started getting doing like tire changes and running, and getting coffee and, that type of stuff. And that brings me up to another thing with Daniel Kelly also.
My God. We got hit up about that today. We had a draft scout. I wasn't on that pod. I'm still on the pod. Wasn't on that show. Not on that network. For someone to attack somebody for the love of the game, doesn't really shill too much.
A month later.
Yeah. And then I like being the wolf from like I say often from Pulp Fiction, trying to right everyone's wrongs. Just keep it moving, man. Because I don't care about it, right? Matt, do you care about someone's personal gripe? No. I care that he was value add. He imparted wisdom that a lot of you don't want to have access to. Now, I don't mean you, like speaking pointed at someone. A lot of us don't have access to.
Right.
And, this game's hard. I'm speaking about our game. Like Matt, our game's hard. We try to add value when we can, and when we don't, it makes it less fun when, the heads, you try to decapitate someone with a gotcha moment.
And the pictures that were coming out with him being, only pro personnel. I'm sorry, like.
I was speaking to a good friend of pro personnel for the Bills, and we were chatting. You were next to me, and what was he doing? He was don't say the state.
Yeah, he was scouting.
And
he's listed as pro personnel. Like,
yeah, I mean, it was a super interesting point for him to bring up that sometimes pro personnel gets coffee. But that's not the value add that we're trying to impart on people. I would just say a big pillar in 2 champions is, be kind. It was very disappointing what happened to Kevin Masseri. And I'm happy we're getting this out because I don't think another podcast is going to do this. In a lull after draft time, let's air what
minus Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, fuck that.
Fuck Jarvis Landry.
But also, fuck that motherfucker who fucking went at that guy.
Yeah.
And everybody saw the tweet, well received. Not only to fuck him, but to go after his wife and shit like that. This shit's hard, guys. You can fast forward this if you don't want to hear it, but there's no place in being a fan of a spherical game, a spherical ball, a violent game for you to be violent on Twitter to someone else. There's no place in that. There's no place on this network for it, and you're going to hear from some of us.
Right, and just because you couldn't be violent on the field, that doesn't mean there's no reason that you have to sit there and be violent on a social media behind
Right.
behind a keyboard, and that's literally nothing but like what people were taught at the beginning of the internet, like in high school. Don't internet bully, don't do this, because we hear stories all the time, and I don't want to get demonetized or anything like that, but we hear stories all the time in the media and things like that of what happens after internet bullying happens. You see shows like in Law and Order Special Victims Unit, doing that type of stuff when you internet bully somebody, and it gets to a point where it's just be kind, just be kind to people, because you don't know what they're going through, you don't know what could set them off,
Right.
and it comes down to it is these people are trying to add value to Twitter, to Instagram, to Facebook, so that the average casual person, fan, whatever you want to call them,
even a guy like me who kind of played and stuff like that, I always see value in somebody if they have a well researched point. We had shout out to Tommy Giambra.
Yeah.
We had a guy who had an original thought. He workshopped it, and the tweet went well. It went great about packaging picks, for a veteran guy.
Yeah.
And it was one of my fears in that, confidence levels, those tweets and those original thoughts, unless you want repackaged information that we get from, Morning Football and, First Take, unless you want to copy stuff like that, it takes balls to have an original opinion.
And we will do some of that, like on
Right.
this network, is repackage some of it, because we hear it, we use it as knowledge for ourselves to bring everybody else the best content that we can here at Dude Champions on the Buffalo Basement Podcast. Anything like that, we try and make sure we hit all the bases, along with providing the inside stuff as far as the ins and outs of football, the ins and outs of whether it be
the analytics,
analytics,
the workings of personnel. But some of the social contract I hope everyone knows that they enter is that if someone's going to go out on a limb to do the research, try and provide value, try and package it in a palatable way. The social contract you enter is you have to do your own work to, if you don't agree with it, figure out a way to be respectful to say why you don't.
Well, and on top of that, a lot of people
Exactly.
they trust their own eyes, and as a casual fan, I mean no disrespect in whatsoever to any of this. When you're watching football as a casual fan, you don't see the ins and outs, the inner workings, and there's things that I miss. There's things that Student misses. There's
All the
things
time.
that all the time.
Pat,
that-
All the
there's
time.
But then when you have multiple different streams of knowledge to look at, whether it be your eye test to match the analytics and things like that, there's no reason to say that somebody who only looks at analytics, or only, not only, but
uses it as a fundamental enhancement of what you're already enjoying.
it kind of reminds me of football. What is there in football? There's 3 phases to football. There's offense, defense, and special teams. When you're providing knowledge, you have to have that eye test, you have to have the analytics, and you have to have the ability to
be pragmatic about how to
Right.
weigh it. But to go after someone who puts so many hours, like the aforementioned people, says more about you than it does about them. And it's just no place for it, and I'm happy we brought it up.
And I know we're growing and everything like that, but and I don't speak for everybody here at the table or Pat and where he is.
Hopefully up in Buffalo soon.
We don't want those people. We
No.
don't want those people. Like sure, come watch, but don't be whatever. But we don't want those people to sit there and just rip people apart that are trying to learn, trying to better themselves as football fans, and trying to better themselves as human beings, just for something as simple as this conversation.
Yeah, and don't get twisted. We're doing this for the love of the game, and we're doing this for people that want to listen. We ain't doing it. We ain't doing it to give you a gotcha moment.
Right, and I
get dunked on.
I started this literally May 13th last year. We're coming up on 1 year for the Buffalo Basement. So thank you. And
I only joined you.
Yeah, 3 months ago, and I'm glad we are where we are, and we're doing this with our own network and everything like that. But
on
our own terms.
But part of our terms are you enter a social contract. First part of it is listen or don't. Hope you do. But if you do, come correct. Be respectful. Disagree all you want. Prove me wrong. I would like nothing more. Messeri does all the time. Messeri's just no, he does. I know. But part of the contract everybody enters in is listen or don't.
Right.
But don't go after families.
Right.
Don't take it so personally because we don't.
I'm 38 years old. My mother taught me when I was very, very young. If you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
Yep.
And you have to live by that, because if you disagree with somebody, fine, disagree with them. You have your own opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. You can do what you want with your own opinion, but don't come at people in a negative way.
A violent way.
A violent way is a better way to put it, because nobody's going to stand for that. Nobody wants to be around that. Nobody wants to scroll through Twitter.
Absolutely no one's going to stand for it, especially when you don't stand on a name doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Think about that.
Right.
I mean, Student's a character, guys. There is a real person here. And that real person, more so than Student, he has a real life, and he does not tolerate that. So I'd like to put that out there.
And Student's going to be doing 2 shows on here and putting his personal, not personal life, but putting his his knowledge of the game out on there, especially here on the Buffalo Basement, and then on a show on Monday with Adrian, and on the Buffalo Bills homework hotline, which is going to be a wonderful show. But you don't want people to take things away from that and try and attack other people. Like, that's not what this is about. This is about learning. This is about, a fun conversation. This is about, and I could care less whether I'm shouting at 0 people or 1,000 people or 1,000,000 people.
Yeah.
I don't care. My message is going to still be the same no matter what. Be kind, because we all are Bills fans. Bills Mafia, Buffalo Bills fans, however you look at yourself, be nice, be kind in all of this, because we all want to grow.
And be able to look at yourself.
Right.
Think about the comments you're making. I'm happy we brought this up.
Yes.
I mean, it's an exciting time to be Bills fans. Let's keep the excitement and positivity going, because this is a time where everybody loves their team, everybody loves their roster. I don't know if you guys already heard the Dolphins won the AFC East.
For the 3rd straight year?
Yeah.
Yeah, until it goes below 70 degrees.
Come December, they'll go on their cold streak as always.
I hate that, and I want Pat. You be the referee. You hear what he said?
Yeah. What's up?
Say it again.
Until it goes under 70 degrees.
Do people not know that most NFL rosters are comprised by people from the SEC? Like, what do you think? Their blood changes? Texas, Florida, Mississippi, these guys, Alabama. Like, all of a sudden, like, you play for Buffalo and you work out in t-shirts and you don't need your Vaseline and Under Armour. Like, come on, let's be real.
Well, look at Dawson Knox.
Yeah, let's be real here. Like, I don't, the weather advantages, sure, but like, you're stacked up. Pro athletes. You're playing in the same conditions. Conditions are not always the equalizer, but to forget that half these players are not categorically from very cold temperature, snowy cities, just by nature of the schools they played at. The South just has so kind of far ahead because they can train year round. People forget that.
But I mean, if you look at Miami's, recent history, come December when it starts getting chilly, they go cold. Look at that Kansas City game. They could have moved the ball in the playoffs in the wildcard round. They couldn't move the ball at all.
Yeah, and I think that's more of a shot at Tua and the Dolphins than anything else. But
I'll fall off that narrative. all of a sudden I'd be an Alzheimer's,
But
look at Tyreek Hill.
The Bills have created they have 86 players on the team right now. They've created a good roster. Whether it's a division winner or not, those are the type of things we're going to be talking about here on the Buffalo Basement Podcast, on Coast to Coast, on the Buffalo Bills Homework Helpline, things like that.
Place at the table, yeah.
Place at the table. Place at the table is going to be more of a fun atmosphere down at Elio's. Yeah, true. We got to win. But we're not going to go 17-0. So we got to get that out of our heads right now. I know at this right around a month from now last year, we were talking about we're doing our power rankings for the entire NFL, and
Yeah.
it comes down to it where I truly think that Brandon Beane has done a great job through the draft, through these smaller vet deals, including like signing Deion Jones yesterday night, and then
Great pickup, by the
We've
way.
come a long way. Through constructing a D line with veteran 1 year, 2 picks, and duct tape. That was one of the. I was hooting and hollering about that, and I think we learned from all that. And I like the way we're constructing the house from the basement up, and making sure that all the hinges are well oiled and the doorknobs work. It's a lot of people are going to go in and out of those, and I think the next man up thing is hopefully not something we have to deal with this year.
And it comes down to it. We're talking about they have to have 90 guys on the roster. Like they have to have 90 guys on the roster going into training camp. Have to. 40 of these guys are going to be, or 37 of these guys are not going to make the team.
Right.
So these guys are going to be playing their hearts out and trying to, make the team, make the practice squad.
Shout out Tommy Doyle. It looks great.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he
Tommy
does.
Doyle looks really good.
I really hope he puts it together. Friend of the show, friend of the hosts. Shout out Tommy.
And then also too, I know you had a couple of Monmouth guys.
Yeah, we have Gene Scott. He's going to be on the roster as a tight end for Monmouth for the Buffalo Bills. Jaden Sheridan, who I really wish we got drafted. I think I owe him serious money. He's going to be on the Panthers as well as Anderson from Monmouth. He also got a invite. So small school guys, always Monmouth, forever. So, anything else?
At this point, right now, no, I got nothing else tonight.
Pat, why don't you cap the people that pay us the big bucks?
Alrighty, well, hold on very quick. I do have something, though, I do want to bring up.
Okay.
People talk about stuff.
Is this the blue and
You
red?
said what?
Is this the blue and red?
Yeah.
Red and
Yes.
blue.
Let's go! Red and blue!
Yeah, so basically, with the
Let me
departure.
do the intro. Let me do the intro.
All right, go ahead.
Anyway, this is Pat's Hard Hat Time. This is Pat's Red and Blueprint, sponsored by Sons of Erie, Beauty Pools, Soy Beach Bar, Billiard Apollos, Hamburg Brewing Co., and Sons of Erie. Pat Bruknis.
Appreciate that. I love that intro. Yeah. Well, first of all, with the departure of Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, it's clear that Joe Brady wants to have a different style of offense than Brian Dable had and Ken Dorsey had. I'm looking down the stretch last year. Stephon Diggs in the last 10 games had 80 targets, 422 receiving yards. Khalil Shakir had 37 targets, 462 yards. So obviously there is a youth movement in effect, and it seems like Joe Brady wants to take the ball out of Josh Allen's hands and let his playmakers make plays rather than Josh Allen making plays. So then on average last year, Diggs and Davis had 241 targets, 579 yak yards, which is run yards after the catch, which is 2.40 per average. Now then you look at Khalil Shakir and Curtis Samuel, almost 4 yards per average with 3.99, 136 targets, 532 yak yards. So I really do think that Joe Brady wants to let his Josh Allen's playmakers make plays and not let it be Josh Allen try to be Superman all the time.
Let them collect the grass, collect the yards.
Yep.
Pat.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, definitely look for 2 segments a week from the Red and Blueprint on YouTube. Those will be videos. They won't be live, but they will be uploaded twice a week on YouTube. So definitely check those out for any of the great content from Pat Bruknis. We do want to thank our sponsors tonight: Iliad Apollo's Restaurant, 3785 South Park Avenue, Blaisdell, New York 14219. Sons of Erie, definitely check them out. There's the hat right there. You can order that. You
there
can
it
order
is.
the Champions hoodie. You can order paintings. They have a great selection on there. www.sonsoferie.com. Hamburg Brewing, definitely check them out. Also, Beauty Pools and Soleil. Definitely from us here at the Buffalo Basement Podcast.
Hope to see you June 2nd.
I am your host, Matt Diegert, student body right, and Pat Bruknis every Friday at 7 p.m. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Take it deep.
Fuck Jarvis Landry.
Fuck Jarvis Landry.
Nice to be seen. Fuck Jarvis Landry.
Hey, yo, Pat. Good to be seen.
Good to be seen.
Good to be seen.